Okay, so we'll call this part two. Spirit is prompting me to tell you what happened to me yesterday at Trinity Cafe when I went to eat. I'm in line. I see the usual people. There's a tall, dark-skinned black guy that's a security guard there. He has a really big belly, like maybe if he were a woman, he'd be 8 to 9 months pregnant, which probably signifies a problem with his liver and or kidneys, water retention, or cirrhosis of the liver, maybe hepatitis, maybe cirrhosis from drinking, maybe genetics. There's some genetic things that happen that cause your organs to malfunction, but he carries a heavy belly. He's not a fat man, he's just got a big belly. Reggie, the counter, he lets you in the door. And I dropped the cord. First, I was having a problem getting off the bus. It's like, should I go down to the YMCA and catch a six and come back around? Whenever I think people are pursuing me, like some days I get up and the energy is thick. Like today, they are heavily pursuing you. Some days they're not. So I rarely go out by myself. But today I felt, yesterday, which was Wednesday. Oh yeah, in the house yesterday. I felt comfortable. And salute to Hootie and my aunt this fine Thursday. I felt comfortable going out by myself. So I go to grab something to eat, maybe hang around and get some dog food for the dogs if possible. I get in, they tell me to go to table 4. I rarely go to the table they tell me to go to because I always think somebody's trying to poison my food. Sometimes I'll pay people $1 to switch plates with them. And I let people call me paranoid and crazy and all of that because it's cool. People acting like people ain't really killing other people for money. So I don't try to argue and debate with people and tell them they trying to kill me to keep my money and da 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 da. I'm kind of like slacked up in talking about that. I guess I'm healing, so I don't have to talk about it as much. So we have these beautiful orange carrots, one of my favorites, and it's bean and weenies. So I'm like, I know it's not sweet enough. And today I did not bring my bag because I carry my own sugar, my own salt. Because sometimes, they cook for many people and a lot of people have health issues. So they can't put as much seasoning as you would like in the food because people have high blood pressure and high cholesterol and that kind of stuff. So I carry condiments with me. I didn't have my bag with my condiments today. So I was on the bus and I was going to go down and catch a bus 6 from the 5 so that I had less time to be out in the open for any wackadoodles that might be trying to take my life. And I hesitate and I said, nah, just let me off right here and I'll walk down. Joe Jackson got on the bus and he didn't speak. I didn't speak. He said his name is Joe Jackson. I don't know why I don't think that's his real name, but he does surveys and stuff. And he had LASIK. So I've just been watching him because I want to see how long the LASIK lasts. So now he's not wearing glasses and it seems to be okay. But pretty much the people that I know that got LASIK had problems, a couple of years after. So I'm just checking it out because maybe I'll get LASIK one of these days. But I want to talk to people that have had it for 10, 20 years and been able to live a long time. I don't want to get it and then 3 years later be like blind. I decide to get off the bus there. My bag breaks open. The phone cord fell out. I picked that stuff up. And the city was cutting bushes, and the guy was like a black guy with long dreadlocks, but they were covered up, shooed me on. So I looked at him, he looked at me funny, and there was a guy with him that was kind of short, maybe Mexican. Well, Mexican is what struck me. And their look was weird, but I just kept moving past them. I'm walking down, and when I get there to plug up my phone, the tablet to charge it, I done dropped my phone cord, my C charger, and I'm like mad because we have a C charger, USB cord monster that just usurps all of our cords. So we're always looking for cords. And now I just dropped the cord. But I dropped the cord because Spirit told me don't be walking down the street trying to listen to, your tarot readings. Just wait until you get there. And I didn't listen. I was so enthralled with what I was listening to that I wanted to comfort myself by listening and walking. I'm always fussing with my children, telling them when you're out in the world, it's wartime. These people are truly trying to kill folk to sell their organs, to take their blood, to make a sacrifice for whatever organization or whatever, how that goes. I don't know. I haven't decided to do any research to find out what's really going on. So I get in, I notice the security guard. He has a big belly. He's a tall black man and he has a big belly. If he were a woman, he'd be 8 to 9 months pregnant. That's how heavy his belly is. And because I'm always thinking about healing people, I have to stop myself now because you don't know who you're healing around here. You got to know who it is you're helping to perpetuate life for. You don't want to be helping evil people live longer so they can do more evil. So I always look at him and think, I wonder if he has a liver problem or if he has a kidney problem. So when I look at his eyes, I don't see a lot of weight in his eyes, like thyroid issues where you have the buck eyes and sometimes the thick neck. He doesn't have that. It's just all in his belly cavity. So it makes me think that it's a liver thing, cirrhosis or hepatitis of the liver. Could be kidneys, water retention. I can't see his legs, so I can't make further. I wanted to use the word diagnosis. I'm not a doctor, y'all. I'm a healer. I'm not a doctor. So Reggie lets me in the door and they tell me to go to table 4. I tell the guy I'm going to go over here and plug my phone up, then I'll go to table 4 and take my seat. Most of the time I want to switch tables. So today I didn't feel unsafe like I needed to switch tables. I didn't feel like I needed to pay somebody $1 to switch plates with them. And tell them, I'm paranoid. I think somebody's trying to kill me, and it's just this thing I can't shake. And they usually say, yeah, you are paranoid. Ain't nobody trying to kill you. This kind of thing. Like people don't get murdered every day, poisoned every day for their organs, for insurance policies, for gang initiations, for admission into secret societies. So most people are asleep. They don't believe these things are happening. So I let them call me names. Paranoid, crazy. It doesn't matter. I sit down and we're having carrots. They were so pretty and orange. And bean and weenies. The plate really looked nice. It complimented. All it was missing was a couple of little green mint leaves or some parsley or oregano to give it that little pop with the green. So I'm looking like, okay, chef, I see you. And I said, dang, I didn't even bring my bag with my condiments. I usually carry sugar, salt, and pepper because they cook for many people. Some of the people have health problems and they don't salt it like I want it salted. They don't sugar it as sweet as I want it sweetened. So I carry those things with me. Today I don't have my bag. So I said to Margaret, who was my server, dang, I need some more sweetener. She said, oh, I have sugar in my pocket. She gives me 2 packets of what's supposed to be sugar. And she said, well, do you want 3? I said, sure. So I open one and just sprinkle it all over the bean and weenies. I didn't even taste it because there's never a time where it's not sweet to my satisfaction. I like it really sweet. I put it in my mouth and there's this strong, like hot, like pepper taste feeling. I'm like, oh, hell no. So I spit it out into the napkin and I said, I need another plate. Something ain't right about this. Why is it spicy? This is a sweet dish. Bean and weenies are typically sweet. Every now and then you find people make it where it doesn't have the sugar, but it still just tastes normal. It doesn't taste peppery. So she's like, oh no, they're all the same. They're not going to give you another one. I said, ma'am, I didn't ask you to tell me what you thought. I asked you, would you ask them to get me another plate? Now, they're real strictlers at Trinity, so I knew it was more than likely going to be no. But I saw the chef, so I'm like, he'll give me another plate. He'll see that I haven't eaten off of this, and you know. So I look back there and I see a black lady like dipping, the plates, and I see Reggie talking to her, and I see the chef. Now he told me that Doug is the one that cooked the food, which I didn't believe him, but this chef reminds me of my mom because my mom was very fair skinned. Dorothy Jean Starks, who married Arthur Atkins and became Dorothy Jean Atkins. My mom looks like a Cherokee Indian. And this guy reminds me of her because he kind of looks like a Cherokee Indian. He's high yellow and he has hair like Mr. Lawrence, that little curly hair that comes from when you mix races. And he wears glasses. Pleasant face, a little limp, but he seems like a pleasant person. His energy is pleasant. So I look back there and see them, and it was like Spirit was telling me, go and take this plate to the black girl and tell her you need another plate. This ain't right. But I try not to violate people's rules and feel like I'm special and all of that, these things that people have said to me. So I disobey God to try to be socially acceptable and to be politically correct, which is still stupid. I'm working on myself. So she takes the plate and they confirm. Jackie says, well, the black lady, I don't know if her name is Jackie. I asked Reggie. He said her name is Miss Jackie. So, and that was after the fact when I was walking out. So I said, hey, this ain't right. I need another plate. She said, it's all the same. So when Margaret came back, my server, she said, I turned my back and the guy that cleans the table had already taken the food so quick, which threw me off because I might have, decided to just mumble through it and eat it or eat the carrots, right? But that plate was gone quickly. That threw me off. It made me even more suspicious. So she said, yeah, they're all the same. Miss Margaret, my server, seemed really creepy in a very overly friendly way. So she's like, so are you having a good day? I said, oh, definitely. Every day above ground, baby. She was like trying to, in her soul, like say, na 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 boo boo. I told you they wouldn't give you another plate. So I sat there and I prayed because I was like, Lord, who put this in my food? Then I picked up the sugar packet. Was it in this little sugar packet? Who's, the foul one here? Because this happened to me last year when we used to drink the tea. When I left there, my bone would be burning. The insides of my bones would be burning like burning. I don't know what else to say. And it seemed like it started my bones to recede. And it seemed like I couldn't walk like straight. I would tiptoe because I said if I would walk normal, my bone would break. And then I had to say, well, bitch, if you think somebody putting something in your tea, why do you keep drinking it? What is wrong with you? And we were really hungry then. So it was like, bitch, I gotta eat. And it's like, but bitch, you gonna eat poison? Are you stupid? You gonna drink poison? Like, whore, please, pull it together. I had this conversation with myself. So we started asking for iced tea with no ice. And I would stare over there and try to see who was pouring the iced tea. And I really felt like whoever was trying to poison me had been paid to do so, but it was like a volunteer. It had nothing to do with the employees of Trinity Cafe. So I decided I'm not going to report this because I don't want all of these homeless people that come here. Some people are not homeless, but they don't cook or they don't have, you know, electricity to cook. They need to come eat here. I'm not going to put Trinity Cafe on blast and have it where the health department or whatever shuts them down. Not all these people can't eat because of me. So I decided to just pray over it, and if I felt like it was unsafe, not eat it. And that's what we started doing. Then I had to talk with God. I said, I'm sick of this shit. Now, you know I got money. You know they took all my stimulus checks. You know I have money in the universe. So provide a way for us to eat safely. And I did something that my pride didn't want me to do. I didn't want to be a welfare mama. So even though we were struggling, I didn't want to apply for food stamps. But I broke down and applied for food stamps. Got a food stamp card, and we start cycling out of the soup line, not really needing to eat at the free feedings in the churches so much. That was a big help, and it didn't hurt so much either. I just kept thinking the FBI was going to get us back into our house and we were going to live back normally. My 4 children that I was still raising and I would go back into the house and, pick up life as it was before June 2nd, 2022, when Hillsborough officer Saey, tall, black, bald-headed guy, came and evicted us. It was 4 sheriff officers, 4 Tampa police officers. You would think that they were there for a drug bust or something, not to put somebody out of their house that they own 25% of. I own 25% of Dorothy and Arthur Atkins' estate, and my mom put in her will, do not sell this house, my childhood home where I grew up with my oldest brother Anthony, then my oldest sister Alva, then comes me, Aileen, and then I have a youngest sister Ava. We all grew up in that same house our whole life. Same Mama Dorothy, same Daddy Arthur. Now, later years, I started thinking that maybe this man named Upshaw that my mom and dad argued about all the time might have been my daddy, because them other 3 didn't treat me right. They treated me like I wasn't a part of them. And I kept saying, now, Lord, are these people, Arthur and Dorothy, in here arguing because Dorothy cheated with Mr. Upshaw and Arthur don't know if some of these children are his? But me and Arthur, we had a very tight relationship, and as far as I'm concerned, that's my daddy. So back to the story. So today I'm starting to heal and just not wanting to put up with being put off on. So I'm like upset about whatever the hell is going on with my food, because now I'm not going to eat. So I said, Lord, help me figure this out. So I pick up the empty sugar packet, and I'm feeling the energy. Is it this? Then I look back and I'm studying Miss Jackie. She has on a cute little bob wig. It's really, really black and shiny. She's laughing with Reggie. Reggie's kind of like whispering in her ear. And then the chef is just overseeing his stuff like he does. And I'm talking about Trinity on Nebraska and Columbus. I rarely go to the one on Bush and 22nd Street. And I've never been to the one in Pinellas. So I sit there and I pray, Lord, who is it? And I keep feeling like it's Martha, my volunteer server. And I pray and I get it's Miss Jackie. I'm like, I don't know her name yet. So I'm like, can I go back there and ask names? And, the creator's like, no, don't make a scene. Don't create suspicion. So I pray. I pick up the placemat that's to my right, and I wave it like a white flag to say, listen, Hey, I'm throwing in the towel. I look around to see where the cameras are, and I'm waving this white flag. I'm doing that because I'm planning to tell the FBI what happened, ask them to take this food that I spit out of my mouth and put in this napkin that's still in my possession, even though they done swooped my plate away, and test it for poison. And then to look at the cameras and see who came and did what, who came and paid the person to poison my food. Usually when I go there, I see some sign of Donnie's friends. They all drive in these little Mercedes Benz, kind of like swoopy looking cars. Donnie drives like a black Mercedes dad van. And lately a black guy, he's kind of like chubby too and dark skinned. He pulls up at the Family Dollar in a olive green Charger, and then a Chevy. I think it's an Impala. It looks silver or maybe slightly beige. Usually accompanies that car. They pull over in the Family Dollar lot. Last time I went in there and I conversated with him, he was telling the cashier he was leaving his job and telling her she could make good money and all of that. I thought that was just street theater, but he was really trying to see if I paid with a credit card and trying to get her to get my credit card information or maybe my EBT card information. I don't use my EBT cards in like ghetto communities because, I think they do little fuck shit and they go through the cameras and get your PIN number. So I was in there buying gloves because we no longer have chocolate to sell. So the girls will be selling gloves. The cute little gloves to parents for their children or for themselves. So I bought like 5 packs of gloves, which gave me 10 gloves. And I was listening to Polo G. He was asking me, did I like Polo G? And I said, I don't really listen to artists. I listen to music, lyrics. And then I was sharing with him Lady Bling. Some song, Is That Your Bitch? Then You My Hoe Too. He told you he was leaving me, girl. He lying. We get fussing time to time. And listening to the lyrics, I said, look at God. They're practicing polygamy anyway. They could have peacefully practiced polygamy long time ago when we would have had more children that had good sense, that had a sense of love and affection because they would have had 2 mamas. All the baby mamas would have come together and loved on the children and shared the little one piece of man, right? But women didn't have the common sense to try to save themselves and save their families. They want to argue, talking about he mine, he mine, he mine. He ain't none of y'all's, I promise you. But we women were presented with an opportunity where we could have built sisterhood, sister bonds based on the fact that we have a baby from the same man, their blood. Let's come together, allow the children to get to know each other and befriend each other and support one another, right? We didn't want to do that. We want to argue over a man that ain't nobody's. Please. So back to the story and back to me being over sitting at table 4 with my back to Miss Jackie as she's serving the plates. I waved the flag and then I said, okay, God, can I get up now? Yes. I get up, I leave. I go over to the store. Why did I go in? Because I didn't even bring my pouch that had money in it. I try to always carry $2 or $3. Oh, as I'm leaving, I hear Reggie saying, hey man, I got $2 for you. And the $2 always makes me think that my brother's around trying to do something slick. He calls himself the deacon. And the last time somebody had a $2 conversation, the deacon was handing me $2 at a church over by the transfer center. We went there to ask for $10 because we were hungry. And I wanted to buy a whole chicken and some instant mashed potatoes and feed me and the girls. He gave me a water bottle and it had these little white flicks in it. See, people don't understand. You give me stuff and you trying to poison me when I give my food to my children. And I'll eat a peanut butter sandwich, but I give my food to my children. So I gave the water bottle to Abby, and Abby was drinking it because it was hot. And she got to the bottom. She said, "Mommy, this has glass in it." Because all she saw was the little clear pieces of, whatever it was. So I put a piece in between my nails and I popped it. I said, "I don't think that's glass." So immediately I thought, wow, they're trying to put drugs in my system so that they can say she's on drugs. And they've been drugging me through the water. They might have been giving me water already with whatever that is, but it was like dissolved, so I couldn't see it. Sometimes we drink the water and we're like, dang, this water tastes weird. So I'm like, Lord, should I call the police and tell them what happened? Should I call the media, tell them what happened? I said, I'm not going to do that because I believe that this guy, this deacon guy, is doing this. I don't think this is the church members. So I'm not going to, put the church on blast. And they were trying to do a good deed by giving me food and giving me the $10 as I requested. So they were cooking something like fried fish or something, but they gave me a plate with spaghetti. So when I saw the spaghetti, of course, I was thinking somebody trying to put blood in it. You can put blood in anything and it would not be visible. But for some reason, when it's spaghetti, because of movies and voodoo and all of that, I just couldn't eat it. So I ended up giving those plates away. So, why did I leave that conversation to tell you about okay, so this is what I did. I looked up what drugs are clear and look like glass, and it came up with methamphetamines. So I think my brother is addicted to meth through rumors and his behavior and the way his calves are shaped up. I now believe that that's true. So I'm thinking, these motherfuckers done gave my child meth. So I'm mad, but who do I be mad at? Because you over here begging and asking these strangers to give you food. You are glutton for punishment. So I said, I'm going to have to stop asking for free food. And I said, God, you got to show me how to do this. I mean, they done cut me out of working at Amalie Oil, cut me out of working at People Ready, cut me out of working at Liberty Staffing, cut me out of working at that skilled resource place, cut me out of working with Hector at RPT, Rapid Response Team, Rapid Personnel, Rapid Response Team, I don't know. It's on up by Amscott on Waters in Florida. But they're going behind me, just killing all of my partnerships where I can go and catch a gig and work a couple of weeks, a couple of days, and keep me afloat. So I didn't report the church. I didn't report the incident. I didn't do that. So cut cords, Cal Trump's contracts, known and unknown. Return to sender all hexes and curses, banish all evil entities from our presence, my children, my animals, right now, in the name of Jesus, in the name of the ancestors, the angels, the orishas, all good energies. I cast you out. Go away. Monitoring spirits, go away. So I didn't report the church. I'm very sensitive about hurting people who are already hurting, and that's the homeless community, because I have come to believe that most people that are homeless are actually under some kind of witchcraft or living under the results of witchcraft that they sent out, one of the two. And I tend to believe that there's some person in their family that chose them to be the sacrificial lamb, and they started siphoning their energy, their resources like that, like what's happening to me. They chose me to be the person that they would kill off so that they could keep my resources, take my intellectual property, have somebody else pretend to be me. I never received my SARs for school. I plan to go back to school. And I think Alva, ALVA, my oldest sister, has been using my credentials to get paid $20 an hour as a substitute teacher, pretending to be me, using my transcripts from USF. That's where I got my bachelor's degree from. And then I started my master's degree with National Louis University. And for some reason, I was thinking they were going to allow either Juliet, my brother's secretary, I call her Clawfoot, or Letitia to go to law school under my name. Letitia has, maybe she finished her AS degree in paralegal. I helped her get into HCC with Professor Sandag and Tankersley to get her degree, and then that have turned on me. Yes, she did. So, back to the story. Well, what I wanted to reiterate with that is I think that people are choosing one person to put an insurance policy on to get witches to draw their energy from them, their destiny from them, and then leave them haggardly on the streets and just say, oh yeah, when they send the person to kill them and they finally hit them with a car or hit them with a bus or this red diesel like truck was pursuing me, hit them with the diesel, whatever they do to them, it'll just be like, oh, well, they were crazy anyway, they were homeless, they were crazy, and then nobody investigates the murder, right? Well, you stand up for yourself spiritually. Tell them no. Tell them to get away from you. Tell them no access. No access. Tell them. Say it. Bark it. So I have been put on assignment by God to do the research and be quiet. Don't make me lose my thought. To get out here, get the information, and pray over these ministries that help people, and pray over these ministries, pray over the actual people. Some people God tell me do not pray for. So those are the people I think that have done harm to other people, and that's how they ended up out in the world, on the bottom crust. So I'm leaving Trinity, and the chef is sitting there. I said, did you put pepper in it? It shouldn't be spicy. I mean, it was like hot. Like as soon as it hit my mouth, it tasted hot. Like could have even been gunpowder. Now that thought just came to me. It was hot. So I tried not to swallow it, but it hit my glands. And my glands said pepper. But it didn't have to be pepper to be spicy. He said, no, I didn't cook it. Another chef did. And I thought he's just passing the buck. I said, what's that person's name? He said, Doug. And before that, I asked Reginald, what's the black lady name that's back there serving? He said, oh, you talking about Miss Jackie? When people give you names, those ain't got to be those people's names. So I try to remember something about the person. I took a picture of Miss Margaret, and I was going to tell her I took a picture of her. But she was just spooking me out. So I said I'm not going to have too much conversation with her. Because people will lie and say you said a whole paragraph when you said 2 sentences. And when white people lie, especially white women that look intimidating, and she's a little skinny lady, they tend to still believe them. So the same things that happened in slavery is still going on at a lesser degree. And I'm still considered a scary, black masculine female that needs to be locked away, right? So I try to talk in a whisper, and I try to keep my hands way down by my side. Yeah. Because, they'll give me the same treatment as a black man. And I left. I was leaving, and that's when Reggie was having that $2 conversation. That's how we got over to talking about the church. So then it made me think, well, maybe Reggie is in on it because he's giving $2 to this guy. Why is he giving $2 to this guy? So I looked at the guy, but I didn't see the guy in the whole ordeal. But that guy might have been the one that put whatever in my food, and he was paying them $2 to do it, right? So those are the thoughts that went through my mind, and I try to allow my mind to flow free and to document everything that my mind says, because sometimes your subconscious picks up things that your conscious doesn't pick up. So it's all good information. I leave there, I go across the street. I go across the street to get a bag, and I'm looking at the clearance rack like I always do, because there's typically things that my girls and I can buy and resell at a good price. They've got the gloves that I bought the other day marked down 50% off to 50 cents, which is 50% off because they were marked $1. The gloves I bought on Sunday when I was there were $1.25. So I don't have any money on me, so I'm asking people, hey, can you give me 50 cents or $2? I want to buy these gloves. Nobody has any money. I asked the lady that works there. I told her I'd bring her $2 later, and nobody had anything. So a black guy comes up in a black Tesla, hacker type, professional fraud worker, use other people's credit cards as a way of living a good life. That's how he struck me. As I said, hey, Mr. Tesla, would you be willing to buy me some gloves for me and my children for $2 and tax? He said, let me see what I have. I can check in just a minute. I had asked a white guy standing outside talking to a white lady. He said, I have a food stamp card. I can get you a drink or something. I said, would you be willing to buy me some sugar? Then I can make myself some iced tea. He said, sure. So we go in the store. He tells her he'll get her a drink. Hey. And they didn't have sugar. I said, well, would you be willing to get me this oil and salt and pepper? He said, yes. And he was telling me they wouldn't let him buy the container, the salt and pepper. I said, yeah, come on, let me show you. Like the lady on YouTube, let me show you how. I'll show you how to do it. And he didn't know that salt and pepper were in those shakers. So he bought me some oil and salt and pepper. I have potatoes, and we were going to make French fries. The guy in the Tesla bought me the $2 worth of gloves. So for $2, he bought me 2, 4, 6, 8 pairs of gloves. And I gave the guy who bought me the oil and salt and pepper a pair of black gloves. And I asked the lady if she wanted gloves. She said no. I started walking a day away. She said, well, what color are they? I said they're pink with silver. And she wanted them, so I gave them to her and went over to the bus 15 and to go to the gym. And I just missed it. So there was a black guy. He said he was 81 years old. He had on a veteran hat. He was sitting on one of those assisted rolling walker things. And we just started having small talk. And that was the ordeal. When I got to the gym, I got in the hot tub. It was cold. They said that Tico, doesn't have gas for them. And that's why it was cold. So I said, okay, I'll make the best of it. I'll get in here and do my exercises anyway. I do my exercises in the hot tub for several reasons that I'm not going to discuss now, because we have limited space on the SD card, and Angola's already fussing with me about my long videos. This one is 38 minutes, so we really got to get out in the world and get me an SD card today or delete my videos, and I don't want to delete my videos. My birthday is November 24th, so when y'all see me, I'm going to put on a birthday hat, or it's my birthday, write it on a shirt or something. Y'all give me some cash. So go to the ATM machine now, get $20 to $100, depending on what you can spare or what you want to bless me with, and have that already in a little envelope ready, so when you see me or my children, you can say happy birthday. Peace.